Shout out Big Steve.
Shout out Michael Bisbin. What's up? What's up? UFC Vegas 100. We made it to 100 Apex cards. Good times. Good times. Love it. Love it. We'll never forget gambling during COVID. Getting paid by the government. Making bank. Not the best card, but it is what it is. We will break it down. We'll go through it. It's just me today. Don't have much time because I'm going out for the weekend for a couple of days. Got an Airbnb. So, yeah, I'll break through it. And, my reads are generally not too different to the early teas, but I did go in depth in all these fights. So, for once, the tape has been done. And, do I have anything in reward? Not really. All right, let's go through the comments. Lou Betcher, best Thursday MMA show of all time. Thank you very much, my friend. I know you're over the whole content thing, so I appreciate that you still tune in. Kiwi Brew, what's up? Interesting hat choice. Yeah, it's very cold. It's a bit cold. Don't most people in Australia hate Donald Trump? No, do they not? There's no free speech here. Yeah, that's ironic. I mean, it's no better than America, mate. It's no better than America, what they're trying to do over there. But TG, thoughts on playing Rusol? I'll get to it. I'll cover that fight. Sparring Reality, hello. Hello, mate. I know you have 4 bets. Maybe you can tune in. So I said, again, no guests, but yeah, let's discuss in the comments. Let me know. I address all the comments. Let's see what we can come up with. Alrighty, let's get into it, shall we? So, Melissa Mullins versus Klaudia Sygula. Horrible fight. This is a horrible fight. Sygula's getting this on short notice. She's from a Polish promotion, Ameria, whatever it is. Nowhere near like KSW or even Fen, or actually she's from Fen. Army, I should say. She's had one fight in Fen, but yeah, horrible. She's, I guess she's a grappler. The best girl she fought was Karolina Sobek. She, heel hooked her. That's the most impressive thing she did. And then right in the rematch, she got, scarf hold, arm locked. And, Karolina's quite good at the scarf holds. She's in PFL now. She will spam that all day long. Yeah, I basically think it's a dog or pass. Mullins is not worth this price. She's quite bad herself. I think she's slightly better, slightly more technical on the feet, even though she's quite hittable. And, she's, I don't know, both these girls' wrestling is awful. I think this plays out like Horth Petrovic last week, with Petrovic being the worst girl, but she clearly has value just because the favorite is not really trustworthy. And I feel the same about Melissa Mullins. She just does, stupid stuff. And, she's 33 and, yeah, not trustworthy. She does have good ground and pound, so if she gets on top, maybe she can rinse this girl. I played her KO versus Irina Alexeva. It became close, but round 3, when she had the mount and ground and pound, she pulled for the rear naked choke, and then obviously never came close. So I hate to see that. Absolute idiot. So, if she does that on Sygula, she probably won't rear naked choke her. So I prefer that she stays in mount and throws ground and pound. So yeah, a little bit of value on the dog. A little bit of value on the under. That probably ends up being tilting. If I had to force something, I would go Mullins KO. I don't think she has any subs. And, maybe Sygula has a slim submission path, but not really. So let's move on from the horrible fight. Tresean versus Antonio Trocoli. Another, not a horrible fight. I'm excited for it. But, yeah, let me address these comments from Nick Rodriguez. What's up, Nick? One of my old school buddies from Sherdog. Well, I just said how I see the fight happening. Striking, who knows? There might be a bit of striking. With these low-level women, you just don't know what's going to happen. Unless you go too deep into tape, which I did for Horth Petrovic to see why people were laying the juice on Horth. And all I saw is that Horth is not trustworthy and her kicks keep getting caught and she keeps getting taken down, which she did again. So who knows? They might strike, they might grapple. I see a scrambly mess. Tresean to Trocoli. Yeah, I mean, yeah, 2 guys that are not trustworthy. I see a lot of people shitting on Trocoli. Obviously, he had a long layoff. Failed the PED test against Kenneth Berg. One is a big underdog there. He was quite undersized. He's not really a light heavyweight. And, took a big layoff, kept having his fights cancelled. Finally fought against Shara. Not the most ideal, circumstance. Was meant to fight Aliskerov, and then Aliskerov got rebooked against Robert Whittaker. And then he ended up, I guess, I don't know if he recut weight. I think he did. And then he ended up fighting Shara in Abu Dhabi. It didn't look as bad as it should have, honestly, for everyone saying that he's a bum. But I guess, Shara took that really short notice himself too. So, but, now he's, some people are saying that he's not training. They heard stuff that he's not training. Well, he's in the UFC now. You have to assume that he's training. You have to assume that this is his last chance, that he wants to prove himself. This is either his last fight on the contract or maybe he has one more. So why wouldn't he give this a red hot go? But the main reason I don't like the fight is Tresean Gold, not really trustworthy for myself at Juice. He's got power, but when I was taping him from the regionals, he always gave me some flaky vibes. He might even be chinny. Obviously low volume, jabs, calf kicks. Yeah, I don't know. I like the under, but just because of Tresean Gold's extremely low output, I don't really like it. Slight chalk, plus with these gloves. Yeah, I don't know. He can probably stuff the takedowns here, sprawl and brawl, start outlanding Trocoli. He does have really, really good wrestling, and he loves that guillotine. He, other than getting Josh Friend, he also made Brian Battle abandon and folded it to his back. So, yeah, I could see Gore winning a minus EV decision by sprawl and brawling and Trocoli kind of flaking out of there. I don't even know if his cardio is good or bad, or if whatever happened in the Shara fight was just circumstances, ring rust. There's too many questions. As my boy Luke says, easy pass. Easy pass. Alrighty. Cody Stamann versus Damon Blackshear. This one wasn't an easy pass, I'll be honest. I was really close on playing Cody Stamann as a big underdog. He's a trustworthy guy. He's got, not trustworthy at all, actually. He's good at wrestling, and he has good boxing, and he actually has decent defense. I realized that against who did he beat? Brian Kelleher on short notice, upper weight class. Really good boxing defense. Stays safe, technical, but he doesn't have much power. His power is underrated, I will say, but he doesn't have much of it more often than not. No real good control and no submission upside, right? So even though Blackshear is a bit of an idiot and he can be taken down and he can play guard too much, obviously we just seen him knocked out in 18 seconds by Montel Jackson. I do think he's a high-level fighter. I think his trajectory is going upwards. I think he's better than his regional tape. He's 30 years old. And, he's quite good. I think on his athleticism alone, he's quite good. He can get his own takedowns. He's long. He's much longer than Stamann. So I think it's slim margins for Cody. I don't really like playing these slim margins guys, especially when they're 35 and seeming a bit washed. So if you're going to play Stamann, you can play him by decision, but it's crap. So I think Damon's just better. And he was quite close to beating Bautista. You look at his losses, Farid Basharat, really competitive fight. Basically lost out on IQ. Basharat being the slightly smarter fighter. A couple of decisions here or there that won him the fight. Zalal, he was up 2-0 against Zalal on extremely short notice. Unfortunately, had to concede a 10-8. That could have been the turn for Zalal, which turned Zalal into a finisher. Jose Johnson, Lacerda, good wins. Mario Batista had to turn around 1 week later against Jose Johnson, and some people thought he beat Batista. So, yeah, I think Cody has a tough matchup here, which he could look value, but, yeah, I'm not interested. I thought about Damon parlay piece, maybe. You know what I don't mind, actually? Damon submission, $6. Right, Stamann's been submitted twice. Saeed, Aljo, it's possible. He's going to grapple. I think Damon has really underrated jiu-jitsu. Obviously, might not be underrated after that twister, but, really, really underrated. He almost triangle Farid as well. So $6 for that, maybe if you think it's worth a poke. But let's move on. Whoops. Caught out. All right, let's see what the comments are saying. Aussie Fight Fan, let's get it. Let's get it indeed. Maybe you can tell me what we're getting, because it's hard for me to get any money with no bets, but never forget battle at dog odds against Gore. Hilarious hindsight. That was a competitive fight, man. Gore almost knocked him out a bunch of times in round 2. I think Radtke will grapple Sam. He should. Big Bird. Misso ain't gonna like that. She is underrated cutie, Klaudia Sygula. Don't mind her. Don't mind her one bit. Alrighty. So, good fight. Good fight. Charles Radtke, Matthew Semelsberger. This is the closest I came on a bet. So, really close to locking in Semelsberger. I did some deep tape today. Obviously, the more deep I went, the more I reminded myself how stupid Semelsberger is and how stupid he can be when he fights. And yeah, I mean, basically, I feel like this fight should be a pick'em. Matt Semelsberger, for all his flaws, he's fought some good guys in UFC. Obviously, he's had a couple of bums in Darren Witt, Jason Witt, and Carlton Minus and Martin Sano. But Witt is actually not a bad guy once he gets out of round one. Once he avoids you cold clocking him. If you can avoid that chin, which is quite hard because he has no defense either. He's a good wrestler, has good cardio. Chaos Williams, Alex Morono, AJ Fletcher, Jake Matthews, Jeremiah Wells, Uroš Medic, Preston Parsons. I mean, just ask yourself this: how would Charles Radtke go up against all those guys? I reckon he would win some, lose some, and a lot of them will be competitive. I think Charles Radtke has good boxing, good hands. They're a bit cleaner. I think he's faster. Semelsberger is a bit lumbering, but he has the ball power and the hardware edge. You'll see Radtke a lot in his regionals getting wobbled, getting hurt, obviously knocked out a couple times, both times to the body, but there's a lot of people hurting him on the regionals, and he's just reacting weird. He 29-28'd old mate Mike Mafetha, Gilbert Urbina. A lot of us were on him against Urbina. I don't think that's the best win. Carlos Prate, whatever, but yeah, a lot of his regionals not that impressive. People think he can use his black belt. His wrestling's awful. He didn't hit one takedown on Mike Mafetha out of like 15 minutes of trying to grapple him. And he won a 29-28 there. So, yeah, if you could just look past Semelsberger's issues, he's live to drop him, he's live to hurt him. He can potentially take him down. His last fight against Preston Parsons, that almost made me pull my hair out. He took that on short notice, and when I went on his Instagram, I saw that, he made a post about not training because it was around Christmas time, right after Christmas, and he was living life on the edge, and he's like, F it, I'll take this fight. And yeah, he still stuffed most of Preston Parsons' takedowns in round one, but who would have thought? Who would have thought that he still wouldn't get a moment until round three, and then he pulled guillotine. So yeah, I think, I don't know how this is not a pick'em. I asked my friend, and my friend said, I guess Radtke should be the favorite because he has more tools, potentially. More tools, and he's training at a better camp and better IQ, but he's 34 years of age. 34 years of age. What has Radtke done on the regionals, right, to tell us that he's better than Matthew Semelsberger? If these guys were in CFFC main event, what would this be lined at, right, if they were both out of the UFC? So Semelsberger has a split to Wells, a moment against Uroš Medic, 30-27 over Jake Matthews. I think this fight is going to be similar to Jake Matthews. Matthews kept catching him with the left hook. He was a lot faster, but obviously kept getting dropped, and I think he's a lot more durable as well. So, yeah, I think Radtke's going to be looking for a left hook. I think he's going to be live to get cracked with the straight right. Competitive, you probably pull your hair out at some point, especially when Semelsberger slows down. But I'm close. I'm quite close. Plus 140. We'll see. I think this is his last fight on this contract too, which is quite bullish. Quite bullish for a lot of UFC fighters. So, yes. Semelsberger or pass, I'll see. I don't know what's stopping me just yet. Probably because I've taped too much of Semelsberger, which is always a hard click when you do that. Let's see what the lads think. Luke thinks semi-season. I guess this is one of your bets, Lucas. Sub Glimbot. Line only predicted on Radtke wrestling in volume, which he doesn't. Parsons and Wells are better wrestlers. Well, I think that's a no-brainer. I don't think Parsons is that great. He has awful control. People just love Parsons because he tries hard. I'm glad Oban Elliott beat his ass, and I'm not glad that I wasn't there. But Wells just complete different level of wrestler, and Gracie black belt, physicality. But yeah, if Radtke gets him down, what's it look like for Matt? He probably just gets up, man. Matt, believe it or not, Matt has never been. He's been submitted once in 2017, but never since, right? Other than regionals, then amateurs, right? And he's fought. He was mounted by AJ Fletcher. He was he's given his back to Jeremiah Wells. Had that armbar against Preston Parsons. He refused to tap. I don't think he's going to get tapped by Charles Radtke. Radtke is a good black belt, but yeah, I don't think he's going to be the first person to do it. Tristan, Sammy, such bad fight IQ turns me off from a bet. Correct. That's the thing. But again, You look at his record, even with his bad IQ, you know, he's beating AJ Fletcher. He's 30-27 in Jake Matthews. He's looking value against Wales. He's looking value against Uroš Medic. If he was plus 140 against Preston Parsons and you bet him there, I think that would have looked value too. But yeah, Radtke is not going to come up with that gameplay. Anyway, let's move on. I only talked a lot about that fight because it's the closest I came to a bet, and we've got to talk about something, right? Zaleski versus Zach Scroggin. I don't know what this guy's doing in the UFC. He's awful. I think Zaleski's live to finish him. He's slow. He can be taken down. There's no odds for myself on Bet365. So let me see. Is there any totals for this fight on BetOnline? I can't go on it now. Let me have a look. Zaleski, Scroggins. The under 2.5 is $1.61. Yeah, I guess that makes sense, but I don't really want to play it because it correlates with Zaleski. In my opinion, I don't think this dude's gonna submit Zaleski. I think Zaleski has better jiu-jitsu, better everything. So I'll just look to see what Zaleski inside the distance is. If it's anywhere near that, I'll just play the under 2.5, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Zaleski's, for someone that's as dangerous as Zaleski, really, really awful finishing instincts. He should have knocked out Renat, went for a submission. He hurt Randy Brown, went for a takedown. So it can be quite infuriating. And I don't think it was his fault that he didn't finish Benoit Saint Denis, but just he has some bad luck. Bad luck with finishing, old mate. Oh yeah, squash match. Let's move on. Cortavious Romious versus Gaston Bolanos, right? The fight that some of the lads have steamed to minus 200 now. Honestly, my opinion hasn't changed after tape. I don't trust Romious. If this fight gets extended, it'll be good for Gaston. He likes to stick and move, and he kind of likes a patient fight. Only reason I haven't locked in the dog is because the sheer athleticism of Romious might be too much for him. I mentioned I like the sub for Romious. It came out. The odds are dreadful. It's not even $3 on Bet365. I don't know if I can do it. Maybe I could do it depending on how live I think it is. It could still have value. Phillips doesn't have many subs. Coming off a massive layoff, had a bunch of close rear naked chokes. And I remember on tape, I wasn't overly confident in playing the sub prop, but I just sprinkled it. I think Romious has much better submission upside. He almost had an armbar on that black belt on Contender Series, Imperator, who's not the best, but even in that fight, he ended up on his back. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't like this fight at all. The under is minus 200. Again, I feel like it correlates with Romious. Gaston is just going to, stick and move. Unless he lands a spinning elbow, like what's his finishing path? Doesn't really have many finishes, even in Bellator. So yeah, just this fight smells bad. Don't like it. What else? Let me have a little look. It smells bad. Romious round 1, dreadful. Under 1.5 maybe. Under 1.5 maybe. I see there was questions about will Romious proactively wrestle to cover this line. He's done it against some dudes. He's done it against Lugo, who's a decent fighter on Bellator, Jonel Lugo, 4 years ago. And he lost that split, but he kept hitting takedowns. He kept hitting takedowns in rounds 2 and 3. His control is not the best. And Old Mate is a good scrambler. Bolanos, he got out of a few tough spots against Phillips. So, yeah, I don't know. This just feels like another Contender Series fight, even though they're both in the UFC. So let's move again, shall we? Pirate, love the hat. How are you, Pirate? Thanks for liking it. Sparring with reality, Zaleski sub. That's what I was thinking as well, as I'm watching Zach tough out a few deep guillotines on the regional scene. And Zaleski loves it. The first thing I thought about was the Peruvian necktie he attempted on Luigi Vendramini, and then I'm seeing him, favor the sub every time he hurts someone, which is a stupid move, but who knows? I'm not, unless it's a big number. Obviously, this Zach guy is a grappler, so he might have good submission defense. So TG, you're going to play Scroggin at plus 500, plus 400. Well, let me know why, mate. Let me know why. Dogfather, Alpha checking in. Nice to see a real American podcast. That's right. I don't know about Alpha though, but Glimbot, Gaston cheeky decision play. Correct. Correct. I like that. I mean, I wonder, what is that paying? I'm just curious. If I was going to play Gaston, I'll play decision. Wow, that's a beautiful number. Tasty, tasty number. I like that. I like that. What's the over? The over 1.5 actually. No, I just said I like the under because who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Romious round 1 sub. That's a little bit better. It all just depends on how retarded Romious comes out. But yeah, Gaston decision is a beautiful number. And the over 2.5. I feel like if he goes over 1.5, he probably goes over 2.5. JJ, over 2.5 in the Stamann fight. No, thank you, my friend. No, thank you. It's just way too juicy. It's not my thing. Way too juicy, and I think, old mate, it's actually a horrible price, dude. I think Blackshear is live to submit him. Alrighty, what do we got next? Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Denise Gomes. Right, so I taped a little bit of this fight, thinking Denise Gomes inside the distance, $3. KO is $3 something. I went for inside the distance because she loves the guillotine. She almost got more with it, and she tried it on someone else. But yeah, then I saw, Karolina was extremely hittable against the Silvana Gomez Juarez. And I remember I live bet Juarez because I'm like, man, this Karolina is so hittable. She's going to lose round 3 if she doesn't, get a takedown. I remember her chin was good. And then, I kind of wiki capped. I remember the beating she took from Jan. And I was like, man, her chin is not bad at all, despite all the bombs that she took. Lucindo kind of cracked her a bit, and she wobbled. But I think Lucindo is a bit faster and a good counter striker, whereas Gomes just wings overhands and is a bit slow. But yeah, I've kind of talked myself out of the KO, but I'll have to dig deep some more to actually decide on it. At the moment, I'm passing. But if anything, I'm actually considering Karolina. But it'll be tough. It'll be tough for her to win. I think this is a step down from Yasmin Lucindo. That was kind of competitive until Yasmin was, ended up hurting her and taking her down. I don't think Gomes has that kind of IQ. If Karolina can fight smart, there has to be some value, but, not rushing. All right, we're on to the main event. Or the main card, I should say. And they're doing my boy Dusko dirty. Mansur Abdul-Malik is a big underdog. He's coming back from, a tore ACL. They're giving him a massive, massive beast, athletic beast, which has always been an issue for Dusko. Gregory, Pitolo, Chitty, all these guys were just, Jordan Wright were just more athletic than him. And he couldn't really get his wrestling going. I think he could make welterweight. But he's just not really interested in it. So yeah, I mean, Malik, tough matchup for him early, but I do think Todorovic can win this fight. He's not a bad fighter at all. And Malik is super, super green. He actually got taken down twice by Wes Schultz. He didn't get any takedowns on Wes. He just ended up on top in a scramble. If Dusko ends up on top of him, I think he could easily win this fight. So I'm not interested in this fight. Again, another Dana White Contender Series feeling fight. The under 1.5 correlates with Malik. I'm thinking, why not? Maybe it's better than his money line, much better than his money line. His KO is also better than his money line. And then, let me have a look. And then you avoid the old tilting experience that I had in the first episode of Contender Series, where he knocked out Wes Schultz in the last 2.5 minutes of round 2, when my under 1.5 crashed and burned. So if he plays KO, I think Malik by KO is the way, but at the same time, if he doesn't do it early, Dusko is actually durable. He's durable and, has good cardio, good recovery. So, but, torn knee, I don't know. I get this aura that, there might be some injury concerns with him. He's always injured. He had a really bad injury against Pitolo as well. His foot got run over by a car and he ended up fighting. He had all these skin grafts in his foot. he's one of those fighters. So I don't know. TG, I had 600 on Damon last fight over 2.5, and he got one shot. That was a terrible bet in hindsight. Well, it's a sign, my friend. Don't bet it here either, because it's another terrible bet. Local man, Blackshear finish only, minus 240. Ooh, that's good. But those are so... I've had some bad luck with those. Gomes, club and sub rounds 2 and 3, maybe. This line is wide. It sure is. Malik has not been anyone nowhere near as good as Dusko. This will be his best win. Dusko relies so much on head movement for striking defense. Correct. He's good at it. Look how Punahele Soriano was missing an air. But you don't want to do that with Malik. I think Malik hits a lot harder than Puna. It's gonna be one of those bad ones. But then again, he dodged all of Robocop's straight punches, right, with ease. I think he's better at dodging 1-2s and things that he can see coming rather than looping shots. Local man, I think this reaches plus 400 on Dusko, and I'll be there for it. Yeah. Because I'm away. I don't know which fights I can live bet, which fights I can't. So I'll have to make my decision on some of these dogs that I want to poke before. All right. Luana Pinero, Jillian Robertson. All right, so a lot of money in Robertson, a lot of money on the unders. I get it, but again, upon tape, I don't think this is that black and white. This is not, Viana. This is not, a retiring Michelle Waterson, which should have been a smash spot. Even Piera Rodriguez easily taken down. Even, Maria Agapova. Luana Pinero is ranked. She's ranked for a reason. No one's really taken her down until, Michelle Waterson Gomes with a single leg, and then she popped up straight away. Sam Hughes tried. She just sent her flying multiple times. Amanda Ribas, right? I went deep on her takedown defense. Amanda Ribas, I lost big money on Amanda Ribas, just one takedown. She tried in round 3 when Luana Pinero is gassed. It's meant to be her worst round, right? Cardio-wise. She's meant to slow down and gas, which she always does. And even then, Luana Pinero was tossing her around. She had her back taken. She threw Amanda Ribas. She threw her on her head as well. And keep in mind, Amanda Ribas is a judo black belt herself. So Luana actually showing that there's levels to judo. So I don't know if Jillian Robertson is just going to be hitting easy takedowns early. She never does. Against Agapova, she didn't. Piera Rodriguez, Poliana, Viana, whatever. And Waterson Gomes, whatever. Like, if those are the kind of girls, I'll parlay her and play the juice on. But Luana Pinero, man, she cracks. She's very athletic. She'll skirt on the octagon and she'll calf kick, which I'm sure Jillian is going to hate. So if she fights patiently, she can give Jillian some issues in round 1. And also the under 2.5, no thank you. I've seen Jillian not finish girls plenty of times at chalk. Right, we just seen it with Michelle Waterson. Her ground and pound is dreadful. I remember with Poliana Botello back in the day, just finally got a takedown in round 2. She struggled, and she started landing ground and pound, and then had a lot of time in round 3, and she's just screaming. She's screaming, and her grunts are just not reflecting in the power of her elbows. It's just super weak, super underwhelming. Again, we haven't seen Luana on her back. She just seems extremely explosive, even when she's gassed. Just to get up and scramble. I do feel like she'll give up her back. If this, hypothetically, if this is in round 3 and she's gassing, I do think if she's getting ground and pound, she'll give up her back. So I think maybe Jillian Robertson submission instead. That's barely plus money, 220. I would rather play Jillian Robertson submission rather than the juicy under 2.5. I guess Luana can knock her around round 1. But who has she done that in the UFC? Nobody. She just did it to that girl in Contender Series, which was an early stoppage in my opinion. So yeah. I think Jillian's going to have some issues early. It all depends on how Luana comes out. Because against Angela Hill, I think once Angela Hill stuffed her first judo throw, she imploded. She pulled guard. She tried to go for a guillotine, which I've never seen her do. She pulled it in like bottom side control. And then again, she did something stupid for the end of that round. And in round 2, she stuffed Hill's takedowns, right? When she actually concentrated and didn't fight like an idiot. So yeah, but Hill fought great there. She fought great by constantly pressuring and deciding that, all right, I need to gas this girl out. I need to clinch with her, and I need to get her to attempt some throws. And the fact that she failed that throw and ended up on her back kind of gassed her out. So all depends on Jillian. She came in really, really aggressive against Waterson. I think she wanted to make a statement. But, it's all well and good to pressure until Luana hits you with one of those clubbing overhands. She hits like an absolute man, right? And that gets thrown around a lot. She hits like a man. She hits like a man. Luana cracks, man. She cracks, and she's fast and powerful. So, yeah, I don't like anything here. I wouldn't mind some Jillian sub and just leave it at that. It's plus money, and then much better than the juicy under 2.5, and it gives you all the way till the end of round 3, which is generally when Pinheiro gets finished, right? Also Jillian rounds 2, Jillian round 3. They're all faithfuls, right? If I did that with Jasmine Jeslavicius last week, I would have won more money instead of playing KO. So keep it simple, I guess. Let's move on. Sparring, Dusko, obvious live spot. Correct. That's how I feel too. TG, not sold on Malik. He was dead gassed against Schultz. Correct. Schultz is a bum. Robertson decision, plus 250. Yeah, maybe. Hunter Azul, how are you, sir? Bought ESPN and Nick shows are suggested that ends inside the distance. They're all liars. Yeah, I guess so. Getting weird vibes about this. Pinheiro may be more live than perceived. I agree, Parky. I agree. There's this whole... We used to get much better lines on Jillian, and now because she's run through bums like, Viana and Agapoa and et cetera, recently, they're underestimating Miguel Pinheiro. Pinheiro on 1, big numbers. Anything's possible. Robertson decision. It's still at 115 after all, and has had a lot of finishes lately, so she's due for a decision win. I mean, she literally won a decision in the last fight, mate. What's up, Mushroom? All right, a lot of glazing going on. Alrighty, so good fight right here. GM3 versus the Rita. First time taping the Rita, had to go in depth. Decent fighter, decent grappler. He's a grinder. Obviously, he's going to have no issues taking down Gerald. We've seen it before. We've seen him against Stolfitz. We've seen him against Petrosky. It's just, can I really play the Rita at this number? Not really. I contemplated his parlay as a parlay piece. He's never been submitted. He ate shit to that Russian beast, Anatoly, twice. That's his only losses. He's grappled before against like Galvao and some other high-level grapplers. Hasn't been submitted. Some of his level of opposition in 1FC, you do some wiki capping on them and they're kind of padded. That's always the case with 1FC. They get these like undefeated Turkish and Asian beasts, but they've just can crushing. So it's really hard to gauge exactly how good he is. But he does seem good. Not much striking, just a bit of a karate striker. I don't know. I feel like the only thing that's 100% here is that the Rita's going to get takedowns. He's dropping down to middleweight for the first time since 2018. He said he doesn't cut much weight. He hasn't cut weight since then. Obviously, he was a middleweight champion in 1FC, which is basically 205. They don't cut weight because of rehydration. He said he didn't cut any weight. He just stopped eating carbs. So now he's cutting for the first time since 2018. He says he'll make the weight easy, but even when he wasn't dehydrating at all, he would kind of slow down in his fights, right? So he's going to be grappling GM3. He can probably still hit takedowns even in round 3, Stolfitz did. GM3 can't help himself but go for guillotines when he's gassed. Petrosky hit an easy takedown against him in round 3. So, but he's just, how is the Rita going to react? Actually cutting water this time since 2018. And, obviously constantly grappling with GM3. That's where he wants to be. He gets into mount. Maybe he's live for KO because he has some good ground and pound. But we'll see whenever GM3 is in mount, he's good at getting out. He likes being in mount. That's where he gets his reversals and scrambles. So I watched this fight against Hermanson, and he was so flattened out. Like his back was getting arched, and he was getting ground and pounded. And Hermanson back then, one of the best ground and pounders in the division. And he got out of that multiple times, ended up on top even, but then tried to pull Gilly like an idiot. Then he got finished after that. So he can be submitted, but that's one of the only times he's been submitted. So I guess the Rita could do it because he seems like a really high-level grappler, but some of these fights are going longer. He's kind of cooking people on the ground. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like the Rita's going to be winning early, without a doubt. And then what happens after that, who knows? Does he get a nutritional finish over GM3? Does GM3 submit him in round 3 when the Rita gasses? He's already put himself in a deep guillotine in round 1 in 1FC against this dude. Yeah, who knows what happens here? Is it a finish? Is it a sub? Is it a KO? Does it go to a dominant decision? Does it go to a competitive decision where GM3 comes back a bit? I can see a lot of things happening in this fight. I wrote down on Neds, if you're from Australia, I wrote down the Rita 1 takedown in round 2. It's paying $1.65, right? I basically think if this fight gets into round 2, there's 100% going to be a takedown because it's kind of like Asuel Mabaya versus Jose Johnson and a couple others, right? GM3 can't stuff a takedown, so yeah, that's kind of what I'm liking. I don't like the over 1.5. It's like minus 200. I think the Rita could get around 1 finish. So yeah. All right. Local man, Pinero round 1 finish only. Ward if it starts round 2 is amazing on DK. Well, I don't have DK, unfortunately. Nev, yo, I can't sleep. What did I say about the Blackshear fight? These lines come like pay-per-view chalk. Where are you, Nev? Why can't you sleep? Isn't it like only 10 o'clock? 10:30 in America? Parky GM3 is being underrated. He is, but, you watch his fights where he's getting grappled, it's understandable. Hot take. Reina is no Jay Ellis, but I think he can win this. It does remind me of Jay Ellis a bit. Razul thinks Jim, he doesn't beat grapplers. Well, he can beat grapplers. That's got to be false. He's beaten a grappler. He's beat Bartos, submitted him with a guillotine. He beat Darian Wynn, Trevor Giles, Eric Spicely, Ryan James, Joe Gigliotti, 2 black belts back-to-back. Grapplers. Dustin Stolfitz. Yeah, he's definitely beat grapplers, my friend. All right, let's move on. Ricky Tercios, Bernardo Sopage. Wow, this fight right here is the dog that everyone is talking about. Everyone is on Ricky Tercios. I don't know. I don't really see it. This is just another guy that I would rather live bet, honestly. I think Bernardo, at 24 years of age, really high-level fighter. It's got him covered with the power, with the striking. He's a good wrestler, decent control. The only issue with Sopage is he kind of slows down. He slows down and he can be a little bit low output. That's why he lost the Nutsi fight. Nutsi's a high-level guy in PFL now. And, obviously gassed out against Vincius Oliveira. But this is such a step down from Vincius Lockdog Oliveira. Like, even look how Lockdog did against Simone, Ricky Simone. Like, Bernardo Sopage on short notice gave him a much tougher fight than Ricky Simone, who's meant to be a ranked fighter. So, yeah, Ricky's just, I don't know what Ricky's going to do in there. I guess he's going to scramble. He's going to put the volume on Sopage. Sopage will probably take him down. So, Ricky will get up. I guess I see it. It could be a scrambly fight. Ricky always comes on late. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he could even get knocked out, in my opinion. His loss to Ayman Zahabi is kind of aging well. People are making fun of him for not throwing there, but Zahabi's a master weasel, and he gets you to not throw. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling it. Not feeling this fight. Not going to parlay Sopage or anything like that. But I'm not really feeling Ricky Tercios. Like, him to beat a bum. Even got rear naked choked by Rosas. He's meant to be a good black belt. It didn't mean shit. So, yeah. Sopage by decision, $2.10. Maybe. Right? That could be the one. What else we got? If you got one of those Tercios by split, maybe, potentially. What's Sopage by KO? Sopage by KO, $4. Not bad. Not bad as well. Could we see it? Possibly. Yeah, no strong takes. Not feeling. Nev thinks he will lose a decision. Hunter Razul. No, I mean black belts in BJJ. I just told you like 4 black belts that he beat. Alrighty. Tercio over 19. Kiaz is picking. Alright. Tercio's round 3 a decision. Better late than never. Correct. Welcome, Chronic. Ricky, this isn't the one for him. He could get KO'd, but the gloves are shit. Correct. Bloody gloves. Totals ain't for me. Totals ain't for me until 2024 is over. Alrighty, main event. We're finally here. And this could be one of the guys that I could play the total, just because he's such a beast. Carlos Prates. Finally, Magny is going to go back-to-back losses, and then hopefully they give him someone else and kick him out of the rankings. But, yeah, I don't know what to make of this fight, right? Carlos Prates, I don't think he's gone into round 3 in a long, long time. Right, I'm just having a look now. Trevor Giles, round 2. Even old mate Jing Liang Li has not made it out of round 2. Right? That's quite impressive. When's the last time he made it? Joseph Luciano, the GOAT. My boy from Absolute MMA Melbourne. Good fighter. And that was middleweight. Wow, yeah, middleweight. Yeah, which is, I guess, welterweight with no hydration. So we'll blame the hydration test. So this guy has how many fights? Almost 30. And in all those fights, he's gone over against this guy that beat him and against Joseph Luciano. He beat the crap out of Joseph, but he didn't knock him out. So I'm considering the under 2.5, but it's just so juicy. It's minus 200 or worse everywhere. And I'm like, it's obviously correlates with Prates. If this doesn't finish, it'll always be Magny absolutely weaseling like he did against Machado Gary. He gets hurt to the head, but I haven't really seen him rocked massively. Like, he just gets dropped, and even back in the day against Ponzinibbio, it took him 4 rounds to actually die in there, to get hit with an overhand right and pass and, just die. So he's a bit of a weasel, but I think Carlos Prates is different. He just hits differently. Michael Morales ran through him in round 1, which I did not expect. So maybe his time is coming. Maybe he's slowing down. Maybe his finishes will come sooner. The calf kicks is definitely what hurts him the most, Neil Magny. But it's just how you want to play this. They finally caught on, and Prates KO is disgusting. It's just not even minus 200. It was plus money against Giles. It was plus money against Radtke. His under 1.5 rounds was plus money against Radtke, which is hilarious. I think it was Pick'em against Jing Liang Li for KO, again, which value. I think because there's 5 rounds here, that's why the KO is so crap. But you might as well just play under 1.5, man. Under 1.5. Yeah, it's plus money. Or you play doesn't start round 3. I'll have to look into Prates round 2 KO, $4. There's a lot of people thinking that he's going to get a round 1 KO. I don't know about that. Maybe you just do one of those and just have a guess when it's going to end. I'll have to go in depth. I know these guys are both southpaw, so I haven't really had a chance to look into the Daniel Rodriguez fight. I know Rodriguez dropped him in round 3, which is a southpaw. Obviously, Max Griffin dropped him. Yeah, the man doesn't get knocked out much. He got hurt by Anthony Rocco Martin, I will say that. Got knocked out by Lorenzo Larkin. That was a beautiful fight. Yeah, I think Prates KOs him. It's just how you want to play it. I'll have to do some more deep digging. Alrighty. Morales wrestling helped, correct, and Prates ain't going to shoot a takedown. Parky, is Prates sub worth a poke? I kind of think it is. It is if you think Magny will take him down. Because Prates is black belt, and he has good submissions. He has a good triangle, good omoplata, good armbar. The only issue is, Magny is such a cage humper. And Prates has showed the 2 times that he was taken down, on Contender Series, he just got up. Wasn't interested in playing guard. He got up. He hit a butterfly sweep on Ramirez. So, who knows? It's probably worth a poke. But, is Magny going to get caught with like a guillotine or a triangle? Malott tried a couple times. Like, he's been submitted a bunch, but he still at the same time shows good submission defense. Prates sub 10. 10-1. Magny will wrestle. Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, that's it. Like and subscribe. That's all I got. I got no bets, but what can I do on this card? Literally. Someone give me some locks. What am I meant to do? Melissa Mullins, Sygula, like what the hell do you do there? Mullins by KO maybe again. Gore, Trocoli, I like the under. Maybe you go with Gore if you trust him. Stamann, Blackshear, just nothing really. Maybe Blackshear sub. Radtke, Semelsberger. Semelsberger is probably the only money line I'm going to lock in. I'm really close on it. Maybe some Zaleski props, finish props. Bolanos. Bolanos will pass for me. But we'll see. Maybe Bolanos' decision. But Romious could easily kill him. Denise, Gomes, inside the distance. Maybe Karolina my line. Todorovic is live bet. Robertson probably a live bet. 2-3. The rider, I don't know, hit some takedown props. He's going to be beating Gerald's ass until round 3, and then who knows? Ricky Tercio, Sapage, I'm not interested. And Prates, he's going to kill him. When will he kill him? We'll have to make that assessment. All right. Take my skirt off and bet semi. All right, if you insist. All right. Rosal, that's right. Yeah, so I thought Rosal versus Maguire on Octagon. I actually thought that the other guy had good value, and I was going to lock him in because Rosal is not the best minute winner. He's already lost to Novak, and this Maguire guy is good. He grapples. He's got good hands as well. Had a long layoff, but he fought in 2024, so I'm excited to see how he looks. But yeah, definitely, I wouldn't be laying the chalk on Rosal. The thing is, this fight is it's at 150 catch weight, right? Rosal's fought at 145 before. It's at 150 catch weight, and this Jack Maguire has fought a bantamweight, and his last fight was a bantamweight. So he's moving up 15 pounds to fight Rosal. The other thing is he was scheduled December 7th in Octagon to fight a guy at middleweight, 185 pounds. So I don't know what the hell is going on with this guy, with Jack Maguire. Maybe someone can fill me in. So if it wasn't for that, Jack Maguire would have been my first bet on the regionals. It would have been an easy bet too. He's a good striker. He can get takedowns. He's just a bit hittable and, not athletic, but Rosal, never at this price, man. He was stuck against the cage for 15 minutes against his French bum. And obviously he lost to, Novak. So no, not for me, but I want to see the weigh-ins. I want to see how Maguire looks at 150. I wish there was some more inside info. Did I bet Nafuka? No, I did not. But I'm wondering why the hell is Bucky now minus 200? Is this the line that we missed? There's always a crazy octagon line that you play and then you get a lot of shit ton of CLV because it was completely off. Is this the one? I taped a little bit of Nafuka and I'm like, yeah, I'm not really interested in Nafuka. Ivan is not easy to grapple. He's mostly chinny. And now Ivan is minus 200. So maybe I have to, he's still washed. Ivan is still washed at the end of the day. So I have to look into it now. It's Nafuka or pass now. I have to remind myself exactly how good Ivan is in the grappling sequences. But he can be taken down. He doesn't have good takedown defense. He's a good scrambler. Ronald took him down. Yeah, I'll have to go deep just to see exactly how it handles a grapple-heavy game plan. I haven't really looked into Zalgas Abby, but, I know both well. Abby just has no physicality at all, but how can you bet him at that price? He also has no margins, right? But I'll look into his 2 fights that he's won back-to-back outside the UFC. See where he's at mentally. All right, peace out. That's it. Like and subscribe. Or don't. It is what it is. And, yeah. Leave your favorite bet in the comments. Give me something to tail this week while I'm getting drunk on the weekend. All right, peace.